Hello everyone, welcome to the last session of Why Tax Reforms Are Critical series. So, after going through all the previous sessions, this is what we have concluded from the current situation. Currently, very few people are paying more taxes. We currently have an exclusive tax regime. An exclusive tax regime means a large population is not paying taxes. Only about 5% of the population are paying taxes or have paid taxes so far. We have a very high tax regime which goes up. For income tax, it's up to 30%, and for indirect tax, it's up to 28%. Only 5% of our tax collections, or 5% of US tax collections, is what we collect despite having so many limitations in our current tax system. So, what is our future situation if DTT or BTT is implemented? More people will pay very less taxes. An inclusive tax regime will get implemented. Due to that, nearly 85% of the population will pay taxes. It's one of the lowest tax regime at 1%. And almost 15% of United States tax collections can be matched with just 1% of DTT. Now we try to cover some of the important slides from all the sessions so that we get a summary of what all important things that we have covered. We started off by taking financial year 2021-2022, and this is what we concluded. With financial year 2021-2022, we achieved a 242.5% of tax growth at just 2% of digital tax transaction tax proposal on 3,021 lakh crore rupees. And these values are taken from the government information, including 3,021 lakh crore rupees. Now with 242% more taxes, it is a consequence that there will be more allocation for public welfare schemes, there will be more allocation for transportation, infrastructure investment, and there will be more allocation in education sector as well. Now, we have told that even though digital transaction is at 2% for government, it's actually 1% for individual. And we have achieved that number using this data. And transaction always happens between two taxpayers, hence levying a 1% tax could ease the burden. Now, taxes will also fall very evenly on state level collections as well. Currently, GST is also implemented in a 50% ratio between center and state. So I'm assuming the same ratio between center and state. Tax deduction need not happen immediately. It can be aggregated on a monthly or quarterly basis and levied on the taxpayer. So the formula for digital transaction tax is 1% of digital deposits plus 1% digital withdrawals. So we have seen that digital transaction tax has greatly benefited salaried employees, showing gains anywhere between 80% to 95%. Lastly, we try to accomplish something which no government has made a genuine attempt to accomplish. We have highlighted that our debt position was anywhere between 169.4 to 172.5 trillion, and our current revenue is our net direct taxes and net indirect tax collection, and digital transaction tax was our DTT. And based on an important assumption made, we said that if we start to levy digital transaction tax from 2017-2018 onwards, because of the traceability of a digital transaction, and reverse all our direct taxes, we get a projected revenue formula, which is DTT plus current revenue minus direct taxes. We achieved something remarkable. With just last 3 years of projected revenue, we were able to clear the national debt position. If that wasn't enough, we still had surplus of over 100 trillion rupees in the state or in the central government exchequer that could very well be utilized for the benefit of people. So if you remember that 15 lakh rupees SMS where we were told that if we elect a particular government, we are going to get 15 lakh rupees credited into our account. Well, we have made that possible through this table. Because giving back direct taxes, and if any taxpayer had a cumulative 15 lakh rupees as the income tax return for the past 5 years, that individual gets 15 lakh rupees. So these three were the important slides that helped us get a big breakthrough with using government submitted information. So just think about it. If digital payment gave us so much of comfort, imagine the kind of revolution digital transaction tax can do. We also covered on the importance of Right to PM and MyGov portals in the previous session, and we are highlighting the same thing again, that volume matters. More grievances and more suggestions and idea push can only get better chance for consideration. So please leverage Right to PM and MyGov portals effectively. As taxpayers, you have the privilege of letting the government know your concerns just at the tip of your fingers. You can just sit at home, write a grievance, let the government know, and the government authorities will act upon it. So I have made some changes in my YouTube channel. apart from appearance, I have managed to caption all my videos in 14 languages. Not one, not two, but 14 languages. Now this will greatly benefit people who can read in other languages and who wants to understand what I am trying to convey. Now I have also been associated to an institute called Tax Guru, and they have welcomed this idea wholeheartedly because they see the authenticity behind it, and they come from a core taxation background, and hence they don't see problems in this implementation. So while I was having my English session on taxation critical issues and solution, I had received an overwhelming response, and I have answered close to 15 or 16 questions, including my 11 FAQ questions. So if you go to this particular webinar, you can even directly hover to the FAQ session and see if any of your open-ended questions are getting answered there. Now, seeing the responsiveness of this session in English, the next week I had conducted a session in Hindi, and I had included some of the questions from previous session, and this session too went very well. So if you know anyone who wants the session in Hindi, so please feel free to join this particular session on YouTube. It was conducted live, and now the recordings are available. In addition to that, I have done another webinars on the same topic, and they are also quite insightful. So thank you, see you later, and Jai Hind. Please comment your feedback below. I would love to hear your comments, feedback, suggestions, and I will try to implement in my upcoming sessions.